let's look at domain and range of continuous functions. So as a reminder for domain and range, domain's the x values. So we look and see if we can build a fence around the function that is from left to right. And then we write our numbers from left to right. Parentheses, if the function or relationship doesn't actually touch the fence. Bracket if it does touch the fence. So let's look at the inside of our notes. So number 4. So remember, we build a fence on left and right if we can. If I tried to build a fence here, it wouldn't work because this arrow means it's going to go on and on forever. So there's no fence on the left, so we put negative infinity. And then we go to the right. Can't build a fence over here either because it goes on and on forever, so it's positive infinity. So our domain is negative infinity to positive infinity. Then our range, I can build a fence on the bottom because we go down and up. I can build a fence on the bottom, and that's at where y is at -2. But I can't build a fence on top, so this is infinity. So it's -2 to infinity. It touches -2. You can't ever touch infinity, so it's parentheses. To be a function, it has to pass the vertical line test. So this is a function, yes. Passes vertical line test. I'm just going to abbreviate vertical line test as VLT. Okay, let's look at the next one. So going from left to right, I cannot put a fence on here because it's going to continue on and on. So that's why it's negative infinity to the left, and to the right, it continues on and on to infinity. So it's negative infinity, positive infinity. I can do a fence on the bottom for the down, which is -2, and a fence on the top for +2. And it touches both of those, -2 and +2. Is it a function? Yes. If I were to do the vertical line test, it only passes through one time. So passes vertical line test. Okay, the next one, it's like a triangle inside the graph. So I can do a fence on the left side, and that's at -3. And a fence on the right side is at +3. So my domain is -3 to +3, and it touches both of those. The fence will actually touch the function, so that's why we put brackets around it. Okay, and then our range, how far down does it go? Here's our origin. It goes down to -4, so we can build a fence there, and then build a fence on the top, +4. So it's -4, +4. A function, if I were to do a vertical line, if I did the vertical line right here, see how it passes through right here and right here? The pencil test. So that tells me it is not a function. Okay, let's go to number 7. This is really similar to number 4. It's just flipped around. So what actually happens is you're going to flip the domain and range around. So if we look at left, the only fence that we can have is on the left because the relationship touches the line and then goes back out. So that's left at -2. But we cannot put a fence on the right side, so that means it goes to infinity. So my domain is -2 to infinity. The left is -2, right, there's no fence, so it's infinity. And then the down, to go down, it's going to continue to go down to negative infinity. It's going to continue to increase because it's going up. So that's infinity as well. So it's negative infinity to positive infinity. And then to be a function, it has to pass the vertical line test. If I do a vertical line right here, do the pencil test, it's going to pass through here and here at the same time. So that is no. Fails the vertical line test. Let's look at number 8. Okay, so the left and right. Okay, this one's kind of weird, right? The furthest it goes left is 2, because here's the origin, 1, 2. Farthest right it goes is 2. 2 is the only value that x can be because it's 2 right here, all the way up and down. So that means our domain is just 2, and it passes through 2, or it's only at 2 actually. So we're going to put a bracket around 2. That is the only value. We could also just put x equals 2. And then how far down can it go? I cannot put a fence on the bottom. So that's negative infinity. Then how far up can it go? Positive infinity. So our range is negative infinity to positive infinity. Y values can be anything. So remember what that is? All real numbers. I haven't put it on any of these, but anytime it's negative infinity to positive infinity, it's all real numbers. Let's look at the next one. Okay, how far left can it go? Yep, negative infinity. And then right, it's going to go on and on forever to positive infinity. So that's our domain, which is the all real numbers. The y value, or the range, is how far down will it go? It only goes down to this negative 3. It doesn't go up above that. The y value across the board is negative 3. So it's like the other one. So we put y equals negative 3. That is the only value that y can be. Forgot to do function on the last one. So let's do this one first. To do the vertical line test, if I were to do the pencil test, it only passes through once. So yes, it's a function. Passes vertical line test. But the previous one that we didn't actually do, number 8, it is a vertical line. A vertical line is not a function. So this is no. Fails the vertical line test. And this needs to be glued in your journal. So go ahead and do that. And then I'm going to show you what your assignment is. Let's look at the assignment now. Okay, so it's a card sort. There are 20 cards, and this last page is cutouts. So pull it apart. What you're going to do on each one of these problems is find the domain and range. You can either write it here, or you can cut these out and glue or tape it here. Write it or glue and tape. Make sure you draw your fences. Remember, domain is left and right. I'm going to write that here. And your range, so remember out yesterday we were using 2 different colors, is how far down and how far up. So this assignment has both continuous and discrete. So with continuous, you're writing it as an interval. With discrete, like this, you are just making a list of your x values and a list of your y values. Okay, the last thing that you'll do once you finish and glue everything in, you're going to go here on the back, and this is kind of like your answer sheet. So you are going to card number, the sort letter. So whatever letter you chose goes here. And then discrete or continuous, just put the number, whether it's discrete or continuous. And then the last thing, circle the card numbers that are functions, and then circle the card numbers that are not functions. Okay, so you have all period to work on this. Okay, so go ahead and get to work.